You're listening to Unpacked with PMMI, where we share the latest packaging and processing industry insights, research, and innovations to help you advance your business.
Hi, and welcome to Unpacked with PMMI. I'm your host, Sean Riley. Today we're joined by Heather Davis from Blentech to talk about what it really takes to succeed at PACK EXPO as a small to medium-sized exhibitor. If you've ever wondered how to compete with those massive, extravagant booths, generate quality leads, and make the most of the show floor, this episode is packed with practical, proven strategies that you can use as a small to mid-size exhibitor right away, as soon as the next show. Let's have a listen. So with all the fancy introductions out of the way, welcome to the podcast, Heather.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours. So I'm really excited for this pod because most of the exhibitors at PACK EXPO shows are not the large, take up an entire aisle kind of booths. You know, the hundreds and hundreds of booths are the middle to smaller booths like you guys at Blentech. So I'm really interested to see kind of how you guys attack the show. So as a smaller exhibitor who regularly exhibits at PACK EXPO, how do these events kind of fit into your overall marketing strategy? What are your goals going into it?
PACK EXPO is the biggest show of the year for us. We always get the best leads out of it. So part of what we want out of it is obviously the leads. We want to talk to our customers and to our prospective customers. We also try to find opportunities to connect with our own vendors and potential vendors for the things that we need. And we like to go to the tech talks and the other presentations to hear customer perspective and partly to hear what our competitors are doing.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if exhibitors get to the innovation stages, the industry speaks, if they get the opportunity to take advantage of the education. And it's interesting to hear that you guys do.
We're a relatively small company, so we always try to keep two in the booth. And then if we can manage it, we send somebody over to anything that's relevant to us.
I like that. Okay, well, speaking of things that, PACK EXPO kind of offers, they also offer exhibitors a variety of free and some paid promotional options. What promotional resources have you used, and which ones have kind of moved the needle for you as a smaller exhibitor?
We get an online showroom package. So we get to put up videos and other exhibitor collateral. And you would be surprised at how much traffic our website gets from that in the months leading up to the show. We also, since we get the upgraded package, we get the contact information for people who agree to leave it for us. Okay. So we can reach out to the people who are interested in Blentech before the show, get a better idea of what they want to talk to us about. We usually still connect with them at the show, right, but we do some of that pre-work. We get the PMMI game plan. It's just a little row of 4 pictures of our equipment, but it gets handed out to people that are specifically interested in processing equipment. A surprising number of people who come up to our booth that haven't been to our online showroom have that in their hands.
It's kind of old school where it gives exhibitors something that they have in their hand versus something digital, something that they're looking at on their phone. And I know that they distribute them at the show kind of in bins, but it's something that they pick up and okay, this is going to break down a bunch of processors. This is what I'm here for. It's a great way to highlight you guys. I'm glad to hear that you guys take advantage of that. And from what you are saying, you've had people that may not have known about you that then find you in that?
Yeah, and they tend to be those mid-range producers that are just getting their first commercial, like big grocery store contracts and things like that as they're scaling up. Typically, your really big producers already know who they're looking for. But those mid-range companies are great customers for us. We love to talk to them, so finding ways to connect with them is useful. Sometimes we do advertising in industry publications leading up to the shows. Most of the industry publications have pre-PACK EXPO newsletter lead-ups. And then we also use all of our LinkedIn, and sometimes we use our Google retargeting.
You go in with a very diverse plan. You said that you get kind of the contact information a lot of the time from certain people that allow you to. Will you then set up meetings ahead of time with those people to kind of organize it a little bit better at the show?
If we can, we always make sure our booth is well staffed enough that if they show up early, if they show up on time, if they show up late, someone will be there to talk to them specifically. So it gives us an idea of what we're going to need on the floor. Okay. When someone does commit to a meeting, they do usually show up at the booth at some point in those 3 days, though. So that's always nice. The other thing we do with that list is if you haven't been to our booth on the first day, we email you a reminder the next morning.
I like that a lot. And how do they work? Do you see good results with that?
We do. Yeah. We've had a number of people show up. PACK EXPO 2 years ago, we were crazy busy in the booth. And the second day we had about 15 people come by that we had sent reminder emails to. And they're like, oh, hey, thanks for that reminder email. We kept meaning to come by, and then there's so much going on. So sometimes they just need a reminder that we're there.
That's an actionable kind of takeaway that I don't know that I've heard someone mention before on here. So that's good to hear. Now, we've talked kind of about the pre-stuff. What happens when they actually get into your booth? We've talked about you're kind of a smaller exhibitor. How do you work out things like booth design and the people that you have working in your booth when you're competing with these, massive other booths that are large and flashy and have all these things going on? What do you guys do to kind of combat that?
We make our booth a trap. We want you to come in and
you
feel
can't get
comfortable and stay there. So you could go to one of the big booths and have 7 salespeople swarm you and show you all of the newest technology, and it's going to be loud, and there are so many machines moving, and that is really cool. And I love walking around those booths. But when you come to our booth, we have double padded carpet. We have a place for you to sit down and offer you a bottle of water. All of our sales team, or sometimes we'll have engineers or controls people at the show, they actually want to talk to you. We don't put barriers up. Sometimes you'll see those small booths that have a 10 by 10 or a 15 by 15, and we are usually one of those 2 sizes. You'll see the ones where they have like 1 bar height counter, and in a low chair behind it in the back corner is somebody sitting on their laptop.
Yes, I know exactly what you're referring to.
And they have put 2 barriers between themselves and the customers before they've even looked up to make eye contact.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I know. I can picture exactly what you're describing.
Yeah. So we don't do that. If you want to talk to us, our booth is set up so that it is easier to come into the booth to talk to us. And we make you feel like we want you there. And then you're not elbowing people in the walkway while you're trying to have a conversation about your equipment. You're not feeling like you're getting rushed through the show. Some people are still in a hurry, and we totally respect that. But if you want to stay and talk for 15 minutes, you might as well. It's going to be a break from the hard floors.
Yeah, I was going to say, you make it engaging, you make it comfortable. I like that a lot. And as someone who's gone to 20 years of these shows, I can completely respect that. The second that you walk into a booth that has good carpet. That's funny that you highlight that. Yeah. This has been great from actionable items that could be used as takeaways. So I guess if you could give one piece of advice to a smaller company, whether they're going to PACK EXPO for the first time, or maybe you have a different one for someone that's going for the 4th or 5th time, what would it be? What are things that maybe you guys overlooked early on, or that they may overlook that they should take advantage of?
I think there's probably 2. The first is you are not competing with everyone on the show floor, so stop trying. Represent your brand well, and make sure you reach out to the people that you want to talk to. That's going to do more for you than trying to compete with somebody who's got an all-day bar, or who's serving hot dogs, or who brought an entire pen of puppies.
Right. That's interesting. You're not competing with 2,400 exhibitors. And sometimes I think, like you said, exhibitors look at it that way, like, oh no, I need to stand out amongst 2,500. And that's not really the case.
I need to stand out amongst 10.
Yep.
Only 10 of them are the ones that I'm working against, or working in the same space as. And it's really easy to get overwhelmed by how many people are there. But especially even within packaging, which is really broad, but especially with processing, what I do, 3/4 of the people in the processing zone with me are not my competitors. They're my fellow companies on the line. The person at the booth next to me isn't going to take my customer. We're probably going to be working with the same person, because they're doing the slicer and I'm doing the cooker. There are more ways to get leads than sitting in your booth and waiting for them. If you are not getting the traffic you want, that means there's nothing tying you to your booth, and you might as well go to a tech talk, you might as well go to a coffee, you might as well go to somebody else's exhibition. Just walk around and read people's badges and see if maybe you run into somebody you wanted to talk to in the aisle.
I like that. Everything you've given are actual actionable things that people can use, so I really like that a lot. That's super helpful for our listeners, Heather. So I want to thank you for kind of carving out time to come on here and talk to our people about some exhibiting tips. Thanks a lot, Heather.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Unpacked with PMMI. If you liked what you heard, be sure to follow or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. That way, you won't miss any of the industry insights coming your way. While you're there, we'd really appreciate a rating or review. Want more? Visit pmmi.org/podcasts for all of our past episodes and additional resources.
Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.